In this video, we're going to talk about strings and what exactly is the string data type. Well, it's not exactly a, it's not a primitive uh, type variable. It's a class type variable, and what that means that strings uh, are are a class is already provided by the Java API, and is what we call a class type variable. It does not hold the actual data item that is associated with, but it holds the memory address for that data item or a string of data items. Now, we'll get into a little bit later on in later modules. In Module 9, we'll definitely get into what exactly what can we do with that. But for now, just know that because it's a class type variable, that means that it has different methods you can use to get the length, the position of a length of a string of characters, the position of a particular character you want in a particular string of characters. And so we'll go over that a little bit. So how exactly do we call a string? It's just like how we declare any type of variable. It's you'll just type in string, and then in this case we'll say first name. We'll say first, and if we want to declare another string, we'll call it. We'll say last, and in this case we'll set first equal to my first name. In this case, say Rab, and then last will be equal to my last name, Muhammad. And say we want to concatenate those two strings, all you would do was exactly what you did with the string concatenation that we talked about in the last video. And all you would do is do system out print line and then first plus last. Now in this case, it'll just smash together my name together, so we'd have to actually put a space here, and then when we run this program, it will have that space in between my first and last name, and you run it, thinking, and it prints out Rab Muhammad. Now, because strings a aren't a primitive data type, is a class type variable, you can manipulate that string to figure out um, or use it to figure uh, different methods. So let's look at a very common method. Say we would want to know what the length of, say, the first my last name, or let's do my first name since it has that null space character in there. So say we want to do that. All we'd have to do is say we'll have to store that the number that's going to push out. It's going to return an integer. So it's going to count how many characters are in that string and return an integer. So we need a variable to actually store that uh, that number. So we just say integer, and we'll say string length. I'll just call it length, and that's the variable we're going to store it in. And we'll say string length is equal to we'll say first dot length. And it will return a integer, and we want to, we'll say print out that variable. And so we'll run the program, this in parentheses there, run the program, and it returns 4, the integer 4, which means it counts how many characters are in that string. And we can also figure out, we want to find a particular character. So say we want to find what's in what letter is in the second. So what we have to do to find the second character in the string rab, R-A-B-B, we'd put down char at, and we'd say 1. Now, something you might be asking, why would you put down char a character at index position 1? Well, something that you should know when moving forward through computer science, it'll always pop up. The first character in every string is index 0. So R is at index 0. A is at index position 1. And then into position 2 is B. 3 is B. And so, and the character in the string Muhammad at index position 1, or sorry, in position 0, there's a blank space, and then at 1 is capital M. So just know that every string starts off at 0 and ends with whatever the last whatever character length is n minus 1, essentially. So and we can talk about that a little bit later as we go into decision structures and loops. So anyway, so string is, if we wanted to put first that char at length 1 to return A. A is a character, it'll return a character. So we'd probably would want to have string length be or the variable string length be a char, right? And let's go ahead and just change. Well, we can keep it the same; doesn't matter. But typically, we can already go ahead and change this to position. And let's go ahead and change this to position as well. So let's go ahead and run this program, and it returns A. So you can go through a couple of these these methods you can deal with strings, but really we're going to go into real depth into how you can manipulate strings in module 9/chapter 9 in the book.